Angie? Angie. Hey, it's me. Oh, damn, your breath smells a little nasty-assy.
What is it?
That's okay, baby boo. We got time. We got a date today, remember? Come on, let's go. Wake your stinking ass up.
Okay.
I'm up. Today is the day. I'm taking me and mine on a date. Here's the thing. I've never planned a date for us to leave the house and enjoy one another in public. You know, come to think of it, I've never actually watched the sunrise in Toronto by myself. And I've lived here my whole life. Damn. And also here in Toronto, we're in yet another lockdown. But just because we don't have those quick pleasures that we used to have pre-COVID, like going to bars, dancing, going to movies, etc., doesn't mean that pleasure died, okay? We can find pleasure in the small things. So I want to do more things that light up my soul, like things that my inner child loves doing. Anything you want, you got it. Anything you need, you got it today. You got it. To be honest, we're taught that going on a date means going on a date with someone else, not with yourself. So I get it. Your ego will say things like, it's uncomfortable, don't do it. You're taking yourself on a date? With what money? People are gonna look at you vlogging. Just please save us the trouble and don't do it. But all you gotta say is, no, Agatha. Yes, I named my ego Agatha. I'm in charge now. So once you aggressively quiet down your ego, maybe you'll be inspired to take yourself on a date too. Because time with yourself means quieting down all that outside noise and really getting to know yourself, your true self. And when you take action from that place, and it won't matter what anyone says to you because you know that it's coming from your truth and your groundedness. And that is a beautiful, beautiful thing. You and me, baby girl, it's on. We are gonna have a time.
Bit of sweat.
I finally made it. It is so refreshing. I honestly thought that it was going to be a lot colder. The way fear just plays, we got a little doggy friend. The way fear plays in your head and tells you these stories that can stop you from this experience of watching the sunrise in the city that you grew up in. I'm glad I forced myself. There was this feeling this morning of I just didn't want to disappoint my inner child. I knew that I couldn't back down. I'd be a coward and little Angie would be pissed at me. I started doing these breathwork sessions with Jen Mansell. On this breathwork journey, I felt like I was being guided by something higher than myself that was pushing my body down to stay grounded. And then once I got to that point, I was lifted. Like I came out of my body. Whatever feelings that I suppressed, it all came up. in this experience of breath work. I started to visualize parts of myself when I was a child, moments that I went through, really hard moments that I went through. And in these moments, I saw there was something watching over me. It was definitely my higher self. I felt this ease and comfort. And I realized with this presence over me, we are truly never alone. Even in the hardest moments, there is somebody watching that loves you. And that part of you is you. You are love. I wanted to share that experience because for so long I felt alone. And I think a lot of us, we don't feel this sense of comfort being by ourselves, or we don't feel loved being by ourselves. That's the whole goal with this, to remind people of their goodness and remind them to come back home if they're feeling lost, because I know what it's like to feel disassociated with yourself, your body, your mind. Okay. And so I wanted to chat about knowing how to be yourself. Do you know how to be yourself? And this is one of the questions that my coach asked me during a session. I was like, what do you mean? Of course, I know what kind of food I like. I know what clothes I like to wear. Because things are, oversaturated, I take in a lot of information. I listen to a bunch of books, I read podcasts. I think to myself, when was the last time you had your own thought, your own opinion from your soul, from your heart? And I was like, damn, it's been a while. Underneath our clothes, our makeup, our body, who are we truly? I'm just like, ooh, who am I? So I'm gonna leave that question with you guys. Who are you? And do you know how to be yourself? What parts of yourself are you lying about to fit in? And you know. So the tips that I've picked up from my coach that have helped me a lot that I'm going to share with you guys today. Tip number 1. So what I'm doing more days to get back to that true me is being unapologetically myself. I don't want to hide anymore. It's harder to live my life that way. What I felt that helped was in small doses. Doing one thing a day maybe, or one thing a week, what you had felt before probably wasn't the nicest response, and therefore you felt like you had to hide who you were. But it's safe now. It's safe to come out. It's safe to be who you are. Telling yourself that you'll be there to catch your inner child when they feel like they're afraid of falling. The more I'm doing that and showing myself, the more I'm like, whoa, I thought I was gonna die. Like, I thought that I would have gotten this negative response that I received as a kid, but you come out the other side way stronger and more resilient. The tip number 2, start to develop that relationship with yourself. Ask yourself your own opinion, trust that it's right, and respect your answer. If you said the first thing that came from your heart, you do not even have to explain it. And in that way, you're not letting yourself down. You're always gonna be your best hype person, your own coach, essentially, your own therapist. So the last tip I have is spending more time with yourself. You might have to ask your friends, your family, your partner to give you that space to discover. You have to focus on you, because the more you talk about what you're doing, why you're doing it, and how it's gonna be beneficial for you and for others, people will not understand it. They'll only feel it once you do it, right? So I actually had to do it. I had to start that healing journey. And what that means is spending time in solitude with yourself. There's a lot of people who are like, why do you have to go to the past? The past is in the past. But there's a reason why you have the thoughts that you have today. It comes from experiences from the past. And we've created thoughts around that experience that have rippled down to who we are now as adults. And it takes time. It's not gonna come from one sitting with yourself. It's gonna come from many moments with yourself. Think about the things that you loved to do as a kid. It doesn't cost money. Like, I did this and this was free, and I'm having the greatest time shooting a video in public. Like, think of yourself as a child, right? You didn't want money from your parents. You wanted their time and attention. Set a time at 2 hours weekly to nurture yourself. Don't forget about that part. Hey, oh, there's a little squirrelito. Here we go. Squirrelito. And oftentimes when we exercise or do yoga, there's usually an intention, right? Get more fit, to get more flexible. But the thing with nurturing your inner child and spending time with your inner child, there doesn't need to be a reason to play. Kids just play because they want to play for the sake of playing. You can just see it in the way that they completely lose themselves in play. The more you do that, the more lighter you'll feel and approach life with that curiosity. You deserve to play, okay? Just tell yourself that. You deserve to play. I'm in this in-between stage right now where I'm still noticing patterns come up, but it's like I'm the observer of my patterns and the way that I react. It's a lot easier for me now to stop myself and catch myself in those moments where I'm reacting from a wounded place or I'm reacting with my ego. It's almost like my higher self is looking at this human body and saying, whoa, what was that? You know, and I check myself. It doesn't mean that I won't still feel angry, jealous, sad, all the hard emotions. I'm still gonna feel them, but I'm gonna be present with it. That's the in-between for me right now. I don't know what will come. And that's my ego. My ego is the one that wants to know what's gonna happen. But right now, I'm creating for the love of it. Talking to a camera has only helped me heal these wounds that I was just so afraid of approaching. So this has been extremely healing for me, and it means so much that there are people watching. So I hope this helps with going back home to yourself. I'm gonna go watch the sun on the other side. I'm curious. Let's do that. Love you. And see you guys on the other side. So true. Hi. Wow, that is a beautiful bird.